Hello everyone, good morning. Welcome to Odoo for beginners. Today one more session in Odoo 19 inventory valuation. In first session we have checked on that perpetual, means that is nothing but the Anglo sections. In this session we just gonna focus on that periodic, that is nothing but your continental. Let's understand first what's the difference between that continental means my periodic and my Anglo sections means my perpetual. In perpetual, what happens? Your expense will be booked when you are creating the invoice, and in your periodic, what happens? Your expense will be booked when you are creating the purchase order. This is the big difference between your periodic and the perpetual. If I am comparing this periodic, means this my continental, compare with the previous version, here there is one advanced feature that currently in periodic there is no need to create the manual entry. If you will click on the generate entry, that Odoo will create it automatically. We will check these things in our demonstration. So without wasting the time, let's jump to the database and let's understand how exactly periodic work and what's the configurations we require. Here I have created that company, new company, that is the periodic. So database is blank, entries will be clear more deeply. Okay, so now as we know, we have to do those settings. I'm clicking on the settings, step number 1. Now I'm search for that valuation. In that, here you can see that in inventory valuation we have that periodic and perpetual. I'm selecting periodic here, and periodic valuation is manual, daily and monthly. I'm selecting as manual. Inventory cost method is the average cost. Here valuation account is my inventory valuation account, and journal, this is my inventory valuation journal. The settings are same as we have make in our that perpetual. Now step number 2, that I'm going to change in that product category. Okay, now this is my product category, which is I'm going to use that goods. Here you can see that average cost and periodic, that comes directly from my general settings. Now here income account, expense account, you can set that purchase expense or cost of goods sold. Currently I am keeping as a miscellaneous expense. Stock account is also perfectly fine, that inventory valuation, and this is my stock variation account. The change I am making here, that stock variation account, this is my, I am keeping this account as a cost of revenue, and this is variation periodic. Same settings as we have make on your perpetual. Now settings are same. Now along with that, let me duplicate and let me open my review inventory valuations, and along with that duplicate, let me open the reporting with my balance sheet, and again duplicate with reporting my profit and loss. Okay, all fine. Now let's purchase the item and let's check what the entries on your balance sheet, profit and loss, and my inventory valuation. So what I'm going to do, I have already created my product. Let's check that product. Product is goods. Category 8 suits, means this will follow my periodic valuations. What I'm going to do, purchasing items, I'm just purchasing the one item. Okay, so my vendor is vendor 1. Let's purchase the 2 items. Goods. Okay, quantity is 2. I am purchasing with the 100, removing the taxes for the simplifications. So I'm just confirming it and receiving those product and validating it. Okay, so now this is the first step, purchasing, receipt, and I'm validating those receipts. So if I will check on the balance sheets, let's check on the balance sheets. There is no any impact on the balance sheet, and if I will check on the profit on the, there is no any impact. But if I will check in this my inventory valuation review report, here you can see that my inventory valuation is debited with the 200 and my variation account is credited with the 200. As we know, in our periodic there will be no any automatic entries for valuation in the balance sheet. So if I'm going to create the bill. Now let me create the bill. Okay, so I'm just going to purchase order and I'm going to create the bill. If I'm going to create the bill and post it for today and confirming, and if you will check the journal entries, here you can see that your expense account is debited and payable account is credited. There is no any impact on your inventory valuation. So if I will check my balance sheets, let me make it. So here your 200, your account payable is 200, and your profit and loss, let me make it, and it's your expense is booked in your profit and loss. So this is the first step, that when we are purchasing, your expense is booked. Okay, but in your Anglo section, in your perpetual, your expense will be booked when the invoice is created. So this is the first difference. Now what happens in the previous versions, if we want to create the manual entry, if we want to see that how much valuation, so for that what we have to do in the previous, we have to create the manual entry, and then your valuation will be hit to your balance sheet. But currently now it's very easy. So currently I am in here you can see that. So now I will click on the generate entry, because here why I am clicking on that generate entry, because I have make that option manual. If it will be a daily or it will be a that monthly, Odoo will generate those entry manually automatically, and I am just going to click on the post. So based on that, let's check on the balance sheet. So now here you can see that based on that, here you can see that your inventory valuation account is affected on your balance sheet. This is the first thing. Now as I am going to do, I'm just doing the cells, I'm creating the quotations, my customer. But before that, let me go with my review and inventory valuations. So now what I'm going to do, creating the cells with goods with one product, let me deliver the 2, okay, and with the price of 150. Okay, and this I'm just gonna confirm it, and delivery is that I am just gonna validate it. Now based on that, what happens, currently no entries, but of course the entries will be on that, those your variation account will be affected. So here you can see that your inventory account will be credited with 200 and your variation account was debited with the 200. There will be no any entry, no any impact on the balance sheet and your profit and loss. But now if I'm going to create my invoice, now I'm on the sales order, okay, and as I'm going to create the invoice, regular invoice with 200, and I'm just going to confirm it. Now let's check the effect on balance sheet and my profit and loss. So now here I'm on my profit and loss. So here you can see that my income is booked, my expense was booked already previously, so now my income is booked. And if I will check the balance sheet, so here you can see that everything is here. Now again if I will check on that, this is, and if I will click on the generate entry, the entries will be created and that will be posted. Okay, so this I have created manually, but Odoo will do automatically daily and monthly, whatever selection you have selected. But main thing is that here in your periodic there will be no any impact of your inventory valuation till you are clicking on to generate entry, and if you are selecting those options daily and your monthly. So this is the just main difference. You can do it from your sides and let me know if you are stuck somewhere. Thank you everyone.